Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's your favorite plat spender, Deadlier Wolf, back with another Arcane Legends video. Today, it's a monumental day, guys. They dropped the next set of blood gear, and guess what I am? I'm here to test it for you guys so you don't have to test it yourself. This video is going to be a full in-depth guide on how to use it, I would say. Again, it did drop literally like a couple hours ago, so the actual way you use the bow will probably change, but I'm going to be showing you guys just straight blood gear procs, not really any SB. I'm trying to veer away from the SB procs, okay? Because I just want to show you guys the absolute raw damage you can get from these blood weapons, okay? Now, if you haven't already looked at the information on the blood weapons, they are pretty good this time around. Rogue obviously got an insane buff when it came to this blood bow, just because I feel like STS finally figured it out that Rogue has been lacking in the damage category. And by lacking in the damage category, I mean this number really doesn't mean anything, right? I will say it now. I was rocking my full damage set, full damage pet, and everything. Right. Obviously, I don't have my jewels on here because I'm crafting up some corrupted jewels for my set, so I can finally start phasing into the corrupted jewel portion. But I was rocking about 100,000 damage and some change, like 100 and maybe 5,000 damage, roughly, raw. Okay, as a rogue, I think that's pretty good. There's obviously a lot more rogues out there with a lot higher damage dex than me. I get that, but I'm trying to give you guys the most accurate read on these weapons. Like I said, all the gear that I'm using, I'm going to be using 3 out of 3 SB on one of the proc sets. I'm going to be using 3 out of 3 blood and then Immortal Bracelet, right? So that's going to be one of the proc sets. I'm going to use that as my damage and my bow, right? So I'm going to be using, when I go in the first time, I'm going to proc this set, which is just the blood bow, and then it's going to have my blood, my SB, my blood, my emo bracelet. And then I'm going to be swapping to this set, which is my damage set, which is just going to be chakrams and then exact same gear. Okay? And then the second time around, what I'm going to be showing you is I'm going to be showing you the full blood proc, and then swapping to full blood chakrams. And then I'm also going to show you the full blood proc swap to damage set. Okay, so we're gonna be testing 3 runs. It's gonna be probably a little bit longer of a video, so I hope you guys, just sit back, grab your favorite drink, maybe some chips or something. And I'm going to trying to get in the most in-depth breakdown of this bow. I have tested it a lot already. It is super good. Obviously, I've already ascended it because I'm impatient and want my weapons now. Now, a lot of people don't awaken their stuff. That's fine. It's entirely preference. The only reason why I awaken or ascend all my items, all my blood items, is because I know I'm not going to be getting rid of this gear. Just because I do like the most damage possible when it comes to just playing rogue. I just find it so satisfying. I don't really need gold for anything. I don't go out and buy a million things. The only thing that I'm really focusing towards buying right now is obviously corrupted jewels, trying to get my hands on it. And you guys probably see down here, I do have all LE sets for Rogue, so I will be testing those in a later video as well. I know you guys are probably like, what's happening with the 20 curses? Don't worry, still working on it. It's just all these events that they're dropping, I'm all caught up in those, trying to run leaderboards and stuff like that, and just get drops. But enough jibber jabber. Let's go ahead and get started. What you guys came to this video to watch. Alright, so obviously we're going to be testing it on leaderboard Hydra. Nothing too crazy. First set, obviously we're going to be doing 3 out of 3 everything bow, 3 out of 3 damage set, and then blood sets right here, and then we're going to do blood damage. Okay. Obviously for the pet that I'm going to be running, just the main, this is probably the most strongest you'll probably get your sap. You're going to be rocking Heroic, Board Weaver, Heroic, Exorcist, and then obviously I have Haste just for that quicker recharge, right? But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to be doing no elixirs, and then I'm going to be doing with elixirs, just so you guys can get a more accurate read on what you're going to be looking at. But yeah, all you're going to do is literally just look at him, proc the bow, swap to your damage set. And I have found that literally only using 2 sets is perfectly fine. So you can see how much damage I did. I didn't even use full blood on that, and you can see how much damage I did, right? So it's super good. It does a lot of damage, and we'll just go right back into it, and then we'll test the other sets for you. So with the blood sets, obviously you're going to be getting a lot more proc benefits because the bow and the chakrams just have benefits with their set bonus like any other set in the game. And you do get a lot of extra stuff. But you can see that obviously, you get your 8 out of 8 blood. You get plus 5 damage, 5% ultimate charge rate, increased Bloodstar weapon elemental damage, conversion from 35 to 45%. You just get a little increase in your stats. That's all you're really using it for anyways. At the end of the day, it's just that increase in stats, and then you swap to your damage set. Okay. Now I will show you the blood bow set along with the blood chakrams. So we're just going to swap, pop pet, proc the bow, swap to the blood set, and you can see that already I'm doing so much more damage. And I'm not even tapping super fast on the chakrams. You can see I'm tapping pretty slow, and you can see that in one proc you can do that much HP. And this is blood with blood. So if you have full blood and you have the chakrams and the bow, just expect to be doing that much damage. Again, this is going to be the more accurate read because he has so much HP, and Hedo's not open right now, so I can't test it on Hedo. But yeah, does a lot of damage. Now we'll swap to, like I said, we're going to swap to the physical blood bow and then chakrams, which is just going to be my max damage set. Obviously, I would be a little bit stronger if I had my jewels on the emo bracelet, but I don't. So we'll go ahead and run up on him. Just going to pop a couple of those. Just stand here, pop, and then we're going to charge bow, proc the bow, swap to damage set. Alright, this was a bad proc, but that's okay, because we'll run it again. So, it was a bad proc. You can tell it's bad proc because I've pretty much killed him before with this set already. I'll show you. We'll run it back one more time. Hopefully we can get a good proc this time around. Might just have to swap my sets around a little bit. We'll just do this. Okay, yeah, so that's the right set, and we'll put blood bow here. Just refill up on all the elixirs, and we'll go in. So we'll swap, pop pet, pop, and then we'll swap to the damage set. And like I said, you can really see that I'm not spamming the chakrams. You could try spamming the chakrams, but realistically, a lot of your damage is coming from your 2 bow shots that you can do here. And then you got your Shadow Pierce, which also decreases the damage on the actual Hydra himself. The armor, sorry, not the damage. But yeah, we'll give it one more run back. I'll show you what it looks like if you were just to spam the chakrams. It's nothing too crazy, but I'm not going to use any of these abilities. I'm just going to pop Razor Wire at the beginning so I don't get one tap by the Hydra. So we'll just run up, stand here, pop Razor Wire, pop Pet, swap, and then we'll just spam the chakrams. As you see, it's not really a whole lot of extra damage, but you do a good amount of damage. But obviously, if you're using your abilities, you're going to be doing a lot more damage, right? So that is the raw. Hey, this is what the set's going to do. Obviously, like I said, I'm not using SB. I haven't used SB. Just because trying to get the SB pendant to proc is a little unreliable when it comes to trying to get an actual good run, because you could be standing there from 2 seconds. You could get the pendant to proc off the first hit, or you could get the pendant to proc off the 25th hit, right? So the pendant's not a guaranteed proc, so that's why I don't like to use it when I'm testing out sets in general. But this is why a lot of people do use the SB pendant right here. Obviously, you get your where's it at? No, right here. So restores 10 to 15% of your health, right? That's good. Buffs armor by 200%. That's nice as well. And then you get 100% movement speed with a 2 damage multiplier. So obviously, I haven't tested it out yet to see if this 2 damage multiplier will work with the 300% damage. But if it does, and you're able to get those 2 pieces to proc, it would be super OP if we can get it to stack. But again, with the bow, it just says damage, and it doesn't say stacking damage. So I'm not sure if these 2 pieces will be able to combine. I have tested it out a couple times, but it just doesn't want to. Just procking the actual pendant itself doesn't want to work half the time. And let's see if we can get it to run. This is going to be the first time I actually try running it like this. SB, and then we're going to use Blood Bow, and then we're going to be using our damage set. So again, we're just waiting for that little pendant to pop up here, and then we're swapping blood and swapping the damage. Yeah, let's go and test this out. So like you can see the pendant just doesn't want to proc half the time. I feel like if you were able to get it to, if you're able to get it to proc, like first time round, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Oh, you know what I just noticed? I had the wrong set on. Let's reset him, and then let's go back into it. Obviously, you see I'm not the best leaderboard runner, because I don't really do this. I only do this when it comes to testing gear and testing sets on what the best piece will be to use. But yeah, we'll just run up, get him to spawn, slap him a couple times. Hopefully we can get the pendant to proc, which we did. Proc that, and then swap the damage set. As you can see, you don't. It just doesn't seem like it's worth the time to get the damage to stack. Like when I come up here and I proc the bow and then I just start wailing on him, I'll be able to do a lot more damage in that short amount of time than trying to proc the SB set, right? For it, it doesn't say anything about damage stacking, so I'm also under the impression that if this amulet procs before the bow, you won't get the bow benefits, from my understanding. Again, there's still a lot more testing I need to do on it, but I will show you. I do want to show you guys what it also looks like with elixirs on. Just pop a damage elixir, and then we'll also go ahead and pop this damage elixir as well, and then we'll remap, and I'll show you what it looks like when you're just straight going at it using just the straight blood again, because the blood set seems to be just the best bet for this proc itself. People could claim that the chakrams are still better just because of the massive damage output, but in my opinion, you get more damage when you proc the bow and then swap to your chakrams, so it is pretty needed when it comes to doing this. So again, we'll just come here, proc the pet, proc the bow, swap to the damage set. Again, we'll lightly tap the chakrams, so we still have time to spam the actual abilities right here. And then again, you can see that you do so much damage. Show you what it looks like on Auric as well. Again, you'll just come up, proc the bow on him, and then just make sure try to get your Shadow Pierce to go off, and then attack him. I don't get why he one-taps. I think his one-tap ability is stupid. But, yeah, you'll just come up, proc, And you can see I already did half of his HP in one proc, and then you just finish him off with the rest of it. And you still have, just off the first proc, the initial proc from the bow, you still have about 8 seconds of just sheer damage you can output into the boss. Again, this is more of an informational video. I'm going to be doing a lot more testing offline to see if there's any more combos I could potentially put this up against and share to you guys. But in my opinion, this bow is going to be by far one of the best weapons in the game when it comes to bossing. It is very crucial because obviously the Kraken bow is nice and it is affordable. The Kraken bow price will drop, by the way. I doubt it will stay up at where it's at. Kraken bow prices should be going down soon. Obviously, when you proc the Kraken bow, you get your, you get your stacking, all your stacking abilities. You get 50% boss damage. The Kraken bow is going to be good for your budget build damage set if you don't have enough gold to buy the physical blood bow, which is totally understandable. The blood bow is just OD. You get the most damage with the blood bow, obviously, but Kraken bow still works perfectly fine. I use the Kraken bow all the time. Just literally got the blood bow today. That's the only reason why I'm testing it, but this will probably be my new bow proc over the Kraken bow. Yeah, I don't see the Kraken bow staying up in price for too much longer. It should drop, so it should be a lot cheaper to go ahead and snag for yourself if you don't have enough gold to get the blood bow. Right? Hopefully this video was information, like it gives you a good enough idea of if you should get it or shouldn't. Again, this is all my bias because I really love the blood set, and it is obviously the most OP set in the game at the time of making the video. Get it. Probably wait a couple weeks for the price to go down, and then buy it. And then once you get it, have fun slaying all these bosses. Again, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you have anything that I could improve on, again, I've been doing YouTube for a long time, but I've been inconsistent. If there's anything I could do to improve these videos, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to get back with you guys and take those ideas into my next videos. Hopefully within like the next couple of days, you guys do see a video come from me. I'm going to be testing these Ellie sets with Rogue, and I will also be testing the 20 curses and trying to get a idea of how Rogues could pass it, because Rogues used to be able to pass it with the Kraken gear before it got nerfed, and it was super easy, and then once the Kraken gear got nerfed, you can't do 20 stacks anymore. I think it's physically impossible because I've been going at it for about 3 weeks now, but I will get back to you guys on that. But yeah, again, please like and subscribe if you are new. And yeah, peace out, guys.